And hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bill Michaels live stream tonight. We are live here at Albanese's for a wonderful evening with a special group of people. We are here for Special Spaces.
Yes, we are.
And we are having a celebrity bartending event with Mr. Bill Michaels. That's why I've taken over the show. He actually trusted me to do this.
He's a smart guy. Smart guy.
So we have Gina, Della, and Bill Michaels tonight, our celebrity bartenders behind the bar. Can we drive them crazy tonight, folks? Can we order some of the most difficult drinks that you've ever thought of? So I am Christen Meyer. I am Bill Michaels' girlfriend, who he has entrusted the show to, along with Chris Della, who is the husband of Gina. Della.
Yes.
Chris, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. Kristen.
Good.
Hey, let's start it off with it's Kristen's birthday today, or tomorrow.
Oh!
But we're kind of celebrating it tonight. So stand up, take a bow.
Thank you. What a special way to bring in my birthday as well, with so many wonderful people here for such a great event. I'm just really honored to be here and be doing this. So
yeah, so am I. I mean, Gina has her thing and she does it and everything else, but Special Spaces, it is.
Yeah, we probably should talk about that, right?
Yes.
What is Special Spaces? Go ahead, take it away.
We should have Bob Pekenbrock. I don't know if Shannon's here. Shannon Dunham is the West Side director for Special Spaces, so I don't know if she's here. So we will.
Okay, this is my coworker Julie.
Oh,
she just popped
Julie.
in. So yep. So we've got some people coming from CIBM Bank too. So we'll talk about that
All right,
in a minute.
perfect. We get
Nice
to hear
to
about
see
you
you.
at work.
Okay, that'd be good. The joy of doing live. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Continue
So
on.
we'll bring up Special Spaces in a little bit. I see a couple people walking around. I'll grab them.
Yeah, so we're going to have some special guests, right?
Yes,
Like you said, Bob
yes.
will come on and talk about Special Spaces, what it's all about, the amazing things that they do for children with cancer.
Right.
Right. I had the luxury of learning about this. So 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks
that
ago.
we went to that amazing gala at Discovery World. So honored and blessed to be there.
Yeah,
so when Gina said, hey, let's do a celebrity bartending event, we were all in.
Yeah.
And then you
the
had
three of you were all in. I wasn't. Like,
but I thought
you
it was
talked
your
me
idea.
into this.
Oh boy, I thought it was your idea.
Well, I do have good ideas. I just don't want to be involved in them. I'm like, you're a natural at this. You can sit up here and talk. And
well, I'm not a wallflower. You know, I mean,
I'd agree with that.
We know that for sure.
Yes.
I mean, if I can walk across the stage in front of 500 people after having a baby in a bathing suit, well, I didn't have the baby.
Wait.
Suit.
You got to start from the beginning on this story.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I was Mrs. East Greenwich out in Rhode Island.
Really?
Yeah, I competed for Mrs. Rhode Island. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is
so
awesome.
I had my second son, and about 2 years later, I was like, hey, I'm going to go and do something. So
that's what you
I
came
entered
up
a
with.
beauty pageant. I entered Mrs. Rhode Island, and I was Mrs. East Greenwich, and there I was trotting across the stage in front of 500 people in a bathing suit.
Oh, that is great. Now, when you were pregnant, did you like try and stay, watch what you eat, do exercise, yoga, any of that kind of stuff?
No.
Just blessed with a good figure, pop a child, and
it was a lot of exercise to get in shape. Let's be honest. So, yeah, so this is a lot of fun for me. It brings me back to some good times. Absolutely. So if you see my T-shirt, wearing the love tonight, because
is that the love of you and Bill?
Well, maybe, but I can't give that all to him tonight. I've got to give it to our amazing guests who are out here tonight for this amazing event, and donating tips for spaces. And did you hear about CIBM Bank? Did you hear what they're doing?
Are they matching the tips? Yes, I did hear about that. And Joe is too. Joe Albanese.
Yeah, because Joe sent Bill a text and he said, if Christen can get her bank to do this, I can do it too.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
So we've got 2 businesses, CIBM Bank, who is matching all tips up to $500. And then Joey Albanese stepped into it and he said, you know what? I'm going to do it too. So both companies, $500
that is great. That is great.
each. So that's awesome. So we are so thankful and appreciative of all of that. So should we take a look and see how they're doing behind the bar?
Yeah,
How
let's
many
check it
drinks
out.
do you think Gina's going to serve tonight?
The over-under, I think, is 20. I definitely am in the under, but
And there they all are having
Yeah.
a great time.
we just got to make sure Bill doesn't hit his head on those TVs.
I know. That's all I need.
Right.
It's my birthday weekend. I cannot spend it in a hospital with a man who
Yes.
has a concussion. Right?
Hey, Bob, can you? Hey, can you hop on for like 5 minutes and talk
Come on
about
back, Bob.
special spaces and what your family started? Oh, Shannon.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Why don't you come with her? All right.
Okay.
Perfect.
We
I'll
only
let
have
them
one
choose,
headset though.
but I'll hop off.
Oh, okay.
Not a
Perfect.
problem.
So
right?
you want me to take over and do all the questions? Oh, you're putting me in the hot seat today.
You are good. You are a
The
natural. The
hot
only
seat.
thing I got to worry about is like Bill told me about don't get man boobs, right? Kind of got my shirt tucked in, my hand down here. I keep looking like I better not have them, right?
And then he told me the complete opposite. He's like, "Baby, you gotta tuck that shirt in," and I'm not talking about hiding stuff. So
He's
yeah.
a smart guy. He's a
yeah,
smart guy.
right. He is. Well,
You know,
he's
we
with
want to
me,
get
you know?
people to listen to us, right? So
That's right. And I'm just so appreciative that he entrusts this to me. I'm like, honey, I don't want to do anything wrong. I don't want to ruin your show, and all of a sudden you go
Right.
to work on Monday and you don't have a job.
it's a podcast, so we have the benefit of that, right? They can
Right.
say what we want, do what we want.
We could go to the other extreme, and they could come and say, "Christen's taking over your show.
Yeah.
You're out.
Yeah.
She's in."
Yeah, let's get people to listen. And then it'll be like all of a sudden we'll be on Monday and Wednesday. We'll be asked to be guest speakers all the time.
Right? We could do it. I would never leave my my bank though.
You wouldn't take this for a career?
I don't know. Maybe I would. Maybe I would. But I hear Bill, so I'll be working downstairs in the dining room, and he's upstairs in the studio. And I mean, he talks. It's 4 hours of talking. Yeah, I'm a talker. Again, back to that. I'm not a wallflower thing.
Right.
No, 4 hours of that. I don't think so.
I'll have to tell you about when I first met Bill, and I thought he was quiet. And I said to Gina, I'm like, he's really quiet. I said, he's on the radio, right? He's doing all this kind of stuff. And she's just like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, that changed over the years. But my initial, does everybody know you?
Hey,
they keep interrupting our show.
I'm kind of a big deal around here. Come on. And I'm the birthday girl. Everybody wants to be with the birthday girl. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, and let's talk about that too, because it's interesting that you bring that up. We're going to talk about Bill and Gina, and they're here tonight and behind that bar, and that's not easy to do. But we've got, 2 really big personalities back there. But what are they like at home? And I had an interesting conversation yesterday with my friends, and they were like, yeah, he's a quiet guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting that you brought that up.
It is.
So we'll have to go back to that
after
we talk to our guests from Special Spaces.
Hey, Shannon.
Come on over, Shannon. Hi, how are you? We're going to get you a headset. Okay.
I don't know.
Can you talk? Okay. Can you hear okay?
Yeah. Happy early birthday to
Oh,
you.
thank you.
Christen, I'm going to let Bob Peckenbrock up on here too.
You're doing pretty good.
Well, thank you.
Just kind of flying by the seat of your pants here.
Totally by the seat of my pants. Totally by the seat of my pants. So I appreciate
I hope,
the
is this your
compliment.
first one or your second?
This podcast?
No, here.
Wow.
It's my second.
First, right?
It's my second, and I haven't even finished it yet.
Wow.
Yeah. So thank you so much for
Are we
being
live?
here. We are
rocking?
Facebook Live, and then the entire restaurant can hear what we're saying.
Oh.
Can we give our Special Spaces folks a big round of applause?
Yeah. Hey.
See? Huge.
I pat myself on the back.
So I had the luxury, Bill and I, were invited by Gina, Della, and Pella to attend the Special Spaces event that went on at Discovery World about 2 weeks
The
ago.
gala.
Right?
Yes.
The
Wasn't
gala.
that awesome?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
That was really fun.
So that was my first introduction to
Really?
Special Spaces. And when Gina had said, hey, let's do this celebrity bartending event, Bill and I were like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. And what an amazing organization that you guys have. So tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. Well, Special
Go ahead, Shannon.
Spaces is a non-for-profit where we create dream bedrooms for kids battling cancer. It started kind of as a grassroots event down in Tennessee, and the Christen and Swain brought it and developed the chapter in Wisconsin, 2011?
Yep.
And since then, it's continued to grow, and they have, I believe, 10 chapters nationwide. So they're affecting kids all over the country, which is such a blessing and a gift. And our goal is to create a space for children to be able to have respite, to be able to have peace, to go into the room, have imaginations and play and just dream and relax without having to worry about the details of the reality of what they're going through.
It's an awesome place to retreat.
Yes, we try to make it unique to each child. We try to learn as much as we can about what their likes are, what they like to do, their sports, their favorite color, and we go in and we design a room with amazing corporate sponsors and community partners and individual sponsors and an amazing group of volunteers.
Right.
It solely
The
is
kids come up with the theme, whatever
Yes.
whatever their passion is. Whether they're into pets, then all of a sudden it's like a pet land, or if it's a
half the time.
princess, it becomes like a
Yes.
Disney themed thing.
Right.
Or race car track, sports, like anything that they can imagine.
Right.
The team of volunteers just imagine it and make it happen for these
Yeah,
kids.
sometimes you have to do a lot of research. You know, I raised
Mhm.
3 girls, and I'll get a boy that's deep into some gaming, you know, and I'm
Right.
like, I have no clue who this character is. So it's a lot of fun for us to learn and to reach out. And there's amazing people willing to give their gifts and services to just create this space for this child. So it's an awesome, awesome organization to be a part of.
It sure is.
Yeah.
When I was at the event
Yeah.
and seeing the pictures of the bedrooms that you folks did,
Over
and,
the top.
and the kids, I mean, you know, I wasn't crying. You're right. I mean, I can cry at the top of a drop of a dime myself. So I was definitely verklempt through that whole, you know, slideshow and talking about what you guys do. And it's really heartwarming. So thank you so much.
That was
Thank you
our
for all that
It's
you
pleasure.
fun
do.
being a volunteer.
It's
I'm
totally-
like just a volunteer with the
please.
group, and
But
I
never
paint
say,
the closets and some bedrooms. It was
but you're never just
You
a
never.
volunteer
Yeah.
because
No,
you can't do it without your volunteers.
correct.
it's like
You
an army.
can't.
They come in and get it
Yes.
done within like 2 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had
Awesome.
the pleasure working with Gina's team from Pella, and they were powerhouses. We were talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah,
I had
right.
the A team. You know, they came in and there was no question. They hung everything. They
Yeah.
were like perfectionists. And Gina, she ironed the. I mean, even if you feel like you
Did
have.
she iron the
She
sheets?
ironed the entire time. Yeah. She
Did
stayed
she
in
iron the
kitchen
sheets
and
and the
ironed-
pillowcase? I'm
Yeah.
totally gonna.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
because we
bust on her
want
about that.
every child to feel like everything is brand new and crisp and chosen for them. So
Yeah.
every detail counts.
That's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
really
it.
awesome.
I love it. And you know, when children are sick and not feeling well, to want to go back to that space that's theirs. I mean, we know how we feel.
Oh,
We're
they're,
just
they're
going
so
to our
busy
own
getting
bedroom,
poked
you know?
and prodded,
Mhm.
doctor's appointments, and then they can finally come home and
Yeah.
just be.
So, how many bedrooms has Special Spaces all together done?
I knew you were going to ask this tonight. I was hoping Anne
And
would
again,
be
I'm
here.
a volunteer.
I
I'm not a
know.
spokesperson for Special
I
Spaces.
know. I said to
but,
my husband, I know they say these numbers.
Yeah.
And I remember doing the 100th bedroom about 4 years ago here in
Okay.
Wisconsin for Wisconsin. But I think they're, as far as the nation, I feel like they're closing in closer to 1,000 rooms. But I could be, that might be our goal this year. But
Okay.
yeah, but it seems to be snowballing, becoming a bigger, we're growing and growing and growing. So more and more kids. During COVID, we actually,
rooms in a box.
yeah, we didn't stop. We actually probably picked up our
Yeah.
pace because it was more important then because these kids were extra isolated,
Oh,
extra
yeah.
alone. And we delivered bedroom in a box. You know, we would have furniture delivered through professionals in a safe way, but then we would show up in their front yard and we would set up tents and we would set up the room however, and we'd fill the boxes with bedding and instructions and artwork and shelving.
Got it
and,
done.
Yeah. And families were
No
overwhelmed.
stopping.
Yeah, because that was a really tough time.
Mhm.
It was a
On
really
so many levels.
right.
Yeah.
So we were super grateful. I think we were one of the only organizations that kept pushing forward in that capacity. And we even had a gala outside that year. We managed to pull it together so that we didn't miss any opportunities to raise money for the cause. So we can't do it without sponsors and like
And
this. Yeah,
volunteers
we're
and
so grateful for
donations.
And tonight, without two really great bartenders,
Yes.
Bill and Gina.
That's
Thank
I'm
you.
right.
really I'm gonna get a run for their money
Yeah.
out there.
Have they broken out into a sweat yet?
I don't know. We're worried about the TV there. He's so tall
I
that he's
know.
gonna come home like this, you know.
So funny. So
Yes.
yeah, Bob, you want to talk about how it all
I'm
started?
going to let my sister Ann, who's going to be in here in a
Okay.
little bit,
Yes.
So
do
well,
that.
we're-
It's a
Again, I'm a
special
volunteer.
story.
I paint
That's all he
bedrooms.
wants to claim is that he paints the closet.
So
That,
we'll have
and
Anna.
maybe some fundraising and some arm
Yeah.
twisting and
Yes.
fun with the fundraising.
That'll be great because then it'll give us another segment to
Yeah.
talk more about this.
Yes.
Right.
If I am out there and I want to volunteer,
Yes.
I want to be a part of this organization, where do I go? How do I make that happen?
We would love that. You can go to specialspaces.org and
Okay.
on there there's a volunteer section that you can just click on and it'll just walk you through it.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can go to our Facebook site, which is Special Spaces Wisconsin for our chapter here, and you can look through there and it's very easy to find your way
Okay.
through. Look at our room, see what we're about. Yeah.
Yes.
We can use help from the smallest. Like I said, we iron, seamstress. We need people that can paint and build and assemble
Like carpentry work.
everything. Yes.
So
Yes.
sometimes some people out there, funds are tight. Times are tough right now too.
Absolutely.
But that volunteer and being able to give back, if you
Absolutely.
really want to give back, it's not just about the dollars, but
it's a
about the
great team
volunteer as
building.
well.
It is.
Activity too.
Yes, for
Like,
corporate
that's great.
businesses.
Our
and-
team from Good Karma Brands joined Gina on a room and just love working together. It brings your
Mhm.
team together.
Yes. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we have to keep them on
Yeah.
track sometimes as directors because they don't get an opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
love working with corporate sponsors like that, which is a huge part of what we do. So
Great. That's
yes.
great. And then for those who are listening at home, watching our live stream here
Hello.
on the Bill Michaels public page, you'll notice that we have put there a donate here. Not everybody could make it
Oh,
out
nice.
to Albanese's
That's awesome.
tonight.
Great.
So if you are watching on the live stream and you want to make a donation, please feel free to do so. You'll go to specialspaces.org, donate, and then be sure that you click on the Wisconsin chapter. And then if you could be so kind in your message field to put tips for Albanese's, so that way we can distinguish what came in for
Fantastic.
Albanese's.
Absolutely.
So-
Well said.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're a pro at this.
Hey, going
Move
after
over,
stuff.
Bill.
Move
Yeah.
over, Bill.
He's not even
Cheers.
worried
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
about
he's
what's being
not.
said in
He's
this
not.
little
He
bit of
really-
time
yeah,
here.
he trusts me.
Yeah.
And then we also have CIBM Bank,
That's
which is a local bank here.
Awesome.
I'm kind of partial to them myself. They are in Brookfield and Elm Grove. They have stepped up and said, we will match up to $500
awesome.
in
Fantastic.
tips tonight. And we've got Joey Albanese himself,
Yes.
Albanese's Roadhouse and Grill. They are also stepping up and they are going to match
Fantastic.
up to $500. So
We're so grateful.
So that gives us
that's
what,
just an awesome
I'm
gift.
only a banker, but my math says that'd be $2,000, right?
That's a
so
great
come on,
place
let's
to
hopefully
start.
we can
Very
get to
nice.
that $2,000.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. It
Yeah,
was
we're
such a pleasure.
pleasure. Yes,
Such a
yes,
pleasure.
yes. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I'll
Yeah.
give you a hug later when I'm
Yeah.
done back here. Bob,
Cheers.
thank you.
Thank you.
And then
Yeah.
when your sister gets here,
Yep.
have her
Put her on.
come on
Great.
back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's perfect.
Did you step away because you really had to take a bathroom break?
No,
Is that really where you went? Where did
I
you
stepped
go?
away because you are a natural at this, and I didn't have to be in here. Remember,
filling up out
opposites attract.
I
Gina's
know.
very talkative.
Well, we talked about that though.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We've talked about that. Like when the four of us are together and Bill and I have a special place in our heart for you guys. We just love you. So again, when Gina says, hey, this is what I want to do, Bill and I are like right there. Bill's friendship obviously is a lot longer, but I feel like I've known you guys forever. So, but we talk about that. And we say, hey, Bill and Gina will go off and they're talking their business. And then you and I end up in these crazy conversations
Yes.
just talking to each other. Like we've known each other forever. So
And that's great. You make it very comfortable for me, who I am not like a big talker, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
like to have conversation, but you do get into some stories, and
Mm-hmm.
that is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I can pull
gotta-
some stuff out of some people too.
All right.
And then sometimes I have no filter. That gets me in trouble sometimes. Sometimes I have to keep things to my inside voice.
I try
But the
and
bubble will
not
burst.
bring up from age 1 to 35, right? If I
That's-
don't bring that up, no one's really going to talk about it. They only talk about what I bring up.
That's a great rule of thumb to
Yes.
have.
Yeah.
That's a great rule of thumb. So we were talking about Bill and Gina,
Yes.
two very big personalities, and you look at them behind the bar. Look at them; they're working so well together. Gina's like
Is
this.
Gina boss? See, she's bossing Bill, right?
She's
Tapping him on the
she's-
shoulder.
She's walking behind, and I'm not sure is she walking behind, telling him what to do, or
No. Now she's telling Joey.
Yeah. She's like, Joey, you got to change this. You got to move this stuff here. This isn't working. This flow is just not right for me. We've got to make changes.
Bill looks
You think-
serious back there. Look at Bill.
Very,
He is.
very serious. Hopefully, the folks at home, I changed the camera angle. Hopefully, they can see that. He's
Yes.
mixing something back there. He's going to put a lot of booze in your drinks tonight, folks. So,
So you think if he makes a
Just-
bad drink, does he dump it out and redo it, or does he go like, they won't notice?
you know what? Bill being who he is, I think he would dump it out and redo it.
Oh,
Because he's a perfectionist. He likes things to be perfect. I mean, our house at home, neat, tidy. It like should be on the cover of Better Homes and Garden. You know, it's always perfect.
you know,
That's just
that
his
reminds
personality.
me of a story that I should bring up about Gina.
Oh,
Yeah.
do tell.
One of Gina's little quirks is that she loves to organize. Right? She
Is she
loves
looking?
to. Yeah. Now I'm getting the look. Right?
You're getting the
Gina,
look.
this is good. This is good. So, but she loves to organize, right? When
Okay.
she has time over the weekend or something, she will start organizing a closet or whatever. But the thing is, she gets it all organized, all her makeup drawers, the closet, everything's lined up perfect. She spends, I think we have $10,000 in those little plastic, Rubbermaid things that you
You-
put everything in your drawers.
You're keeping
You
the
know,
container store
yes,
in business?
yes,
Okay,
yeah,
I got it.
yeah,
I know exactly
exactly.
where she is. Okay.
So she'll show me, like last Sunday, she just was into the closets, into her, makeup and everything else. The problem is that 3 weeks later, it's a complete disaster. Her closet, her bathroom, everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Gina, it was awesome like a week and a half ago.
Mhm.
Like, what happened? She's like, it'll be fine. I'll do it tonight, whatever. It's like the 3-week rule.
Yep.
Every 3 weeks, she's got to spend a day reorganizing everything. And I don't get it.
Well,
get it.
I do though.
Put the toothbrush back where it goes, and you're good, right?
That is such a simple rule to follow, one would think. Just put it back where I got it from, right? Unfortunately, we move at such a high pace, such a fast pace, not high pace, but fast pace, that, I mean, getting ready today, Chris, I had like 3 outfits out on the bed. It's like, what am I going to wear? What jeans and what shirt? What am I going to do? And then I had to get here.
So
The
you're saying
bedroom
us
looks like a
guys
bomb
are
on a-
more organized than the ladies. We do better time management, getting ready, getting to functions.
No, I don't think it's about time management. I think women have perfect time management.
15
Well,
minutes late, and we're
yeah.
good.
What I think it is you get ready faster and there's less to what you have to do to get ready. Bill, ready in 5 minutes, maybe 15. But if he has to move fast, he can be ready in 5 minutes. My moving fast is like 45 minutes. My slow or like taking my time and getting ready is an hour
Right. I get that. So I get
with
ready
lots of stuff.
10
being
minutes
tossed
before
around.
we have to go because I know it takes me 5-6 minutes to
Yep.
get ready. Okay, so if it takes you an hour, you start getting ready an hour and a half before go. And now it's an hour 45 minutes and you're still doing the last touch up with your hair and everything. So that's where I go back to time management. It's like you're
Well,
missing something here.
monkey wrenches get thrown in.
Yeah, I hear you.
You gotta
But
Make
you
sure your
ladies are
hair's done.
beautiful, so I'll give you that. It all works, so I'm
Thanks,
good with it.
thanks. Your
I'll
check
take-
is in the mail.
I'll take the
Check
extra
is in the
15
mail.
minutes. I'll take the extra 15 minutes, birthday girl.
Hey, all right. Your check is in the mail on that one.
So how did
So-
you and Bill meet, right? Like we've become really good friends and you are a sweetheart. But how did it all, I remember us going on a boat. Was that like the first time we met you, taking Bill's boat out? Was that kind of...
No, I don't remember the first time that we all met. I don't remember. But I know Gina and I hit it off right away.
Of course.
And then that led up to the boat
Right.
trip. So Bill and I met 2 years ago. He was going through a divorce, and I had just gotten out of a not so good breakup and had been single for a while, and we met. And we've been together for 2 years now.
Isn't it crazy
So-
how you meet the person
Yeah.
that just you really click with? It may not be the first time, second time, whatever, but it's like when you do find that person and you guys are awesome together,
Thank you.
it just is, you're so happy. You know,
Yeah.
you can see that as we're friends and we go out, and it's just it's a joy because you guys just love being with each other.
We do.
Sometimes a little too much hugging and kissing and over each other, you know, when we're in a public place, right? I get a little shy there, but I've learned to deal with it.
That's just who we are, you know. I love him very much. He's an amazing man, and I use the word amazing a lot because I just can't think of anything else to use. But yeah, we met in our first date. We had a 40-minute drive to Sheboygan.
Oh.
And it, you know, that's nerve-wracking because there's nowhere to go. There's nobody else to talk to. It's the two of you. And that 40-minute ride felt like 5 minutes.
Because I'm assuming you carried the conversation for...
Are you kidding me? No, definitely
he went
not.
into radio mode.
He made it very easy and very comfortable. Yeah, he may
Are you
have.
sure you didn't do like a podcast of this or anything? You had a camera in the car or something?
No, he totally did not. But yeah, he made it. It was really easy. And we still talk about that to this day, how easy it is for us, you know, to talk to each other. Even communication. I mean, you're a couple, you fight, you argue. And it's not, you know, the argument, it's how you move through that argument as a couple. Arguing is okay, it's healthy, but it's how do you move through that to get to the other side? And that's where, you know, the challenges can be for a couple. So we have learned to manage that really well. So it's a very different relationship for me compared to what I've had in the past. And I think for him too. But I can't speak for him on that. But, you know, I'm just kind of guessing.
I could, so we'll keep that to podcast number 2, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to go there on your birthday, right?
No, we don't. Because I'm sure we could talk for hours about all that stuff.
Yes.
But so
that's my son Alex.
Yes.
Just popped in here.
So how long I wanted to talk to you and how you guys met. There was an engagement recently, wasn't there?
Yes, my youngest son, Austin. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be here. He is a sales manager for International Auto. And, you know, in the car business, they work all hours. So I don't think he's going to get up here. But, yeah, he got engaged down in Miami.
Yes,
and,
I saw the pictures of that. Congratulations.
It's crazy how it all came together because he wanted to have the parents there, celebrate everybody, have a little party. And I was out in Phoenix for work, and Gina was down there for the Pella, Wisconsin celebration for their award winners. And I was talking to Austin. We were doing some sporty clays, 5-stand and Waukesha. And I said, I'm going to Phoenix, and then I'm going to Miami March 3rd, and I'm going to see Mom out there. He's like, wait, you're going to be out there? He's like, I have a place that one of these people that I know that I sold cars to, he's got a place right down on Miami Beach. He's going to let us stay there. Nicole and I stay there for like 4 or 5 days. And he's like, you're going to be down there? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I didn't know that. Like, this is Austin, right? Smartest kid in the world. But I mean, it's like not doesn't organize or kind of look at how he's going to get things set up.
But I bet he gets ready in 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he gets ready in 4. Right.
Back to that.
Exactly.
Being organized.
Right.
Go ahead.
So, and her parents, Nicole's parents, were down visiting her grandma, which is they live a little bit north of Fort Lauderdale. So they actually had to drive down 2.5, 3 hours to come and see us all in Miami. But we all got together. He got down on the knee and bought her a nice ring, and it's
I saw the pictures and I was so happy.
yeah, they're a cute couple.
They really are. And I had the luxury of meeting them at Gina's, the mother-son.
The mother-son dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
There's a whole nother story there, right?
Yes, that was a fun night. That is one that I will never forget. And I just think back, I mean, it's only been 2 years, but it's been 2 years and we've shared so many great times together with you guys and so many memorable moments.
Right.
So
just you guys are special people, like I said, and you want
thanks.
to hang with good people.
Hey,
and you
iron
guys
sharpens iron.
Yeah, but the mother-son dance, that was something because Gina had foot surgery, and then her foot got infected.
Yeah.
And the doctor's like, do you really want to go to Cancun where your son's going to get married, where you just had a staph infection, you're in the hospital and everything else.
Yeah.
So she wasn't able to go there for Alex and Amber's wedding.
Right.
And, it was during the middle of COVID and everything else. Hey, Tom, how you doing? Hey, I got one person that came up and said hi to me. You had 50.
You were a big deal too.
Yeah. So then we ended up having a mother-son dance for Alex and Amber right there because she wasn't able to be there, and it was a special event. So thank you for bringing that up.
Do we want to talk about that though? Because when she walked into that room, we got to talk about Gina, her personality. When she walked in that room, she had no idea. She turned and she saw everybody, but didn't see. And then it registered and I cried. I was crying because she realized what was going on. And that was, I get chills thinking about it.
Gina is very easy to plan surprises and do things. She just does not catch on. You could be in a room with her and 10 other people and someone will be like, oh, we'll see you next Saturday for this surprise party. And she's like, oh, okay. And she will just go in and out, right? It's just she won't even catch on to it.
She is like Bill, where their mind is going. Now, I can be that way in my job too. I've got to manage many different moving pieces throughout my day. I'm working on a project. I've got customers emailing me, phones ringing. I'm a banker. I'm a business banker. Your day is full of stuff. So, and you too, right? Mm-hmm. Your mind just runs. And that's how they are. Bill will do that too, where it's like, hey, honey, we got this going on. Oh, yeah, okay. And then it's the day of. I'm like, hey, babe, this is what we're doing. He's like, what? Where are we going?
When did you tell me that?
Yeah, when did you tell me that? I didn't know. I mean, we actually have to sit and look at our calendar.
Yeah.
To plan out, or if somebody asks us to do something, it's like, okay, let me check and make sure, so that way we're both.
Gina remembers everything. So I used to say, Gina, you never told me that, and she'd be like, Chris, remember the other night we were over at Albanese's and having dinner, and we were talking, and your buddy stopped by, and we brought up what we're doing this weekend, and I'm like,
yeah, and it was 5:05
exactly.
p.m. and I had just ordered a martini from Joey, and yeah.
Well, she can remember stuff that from our first date, our 10th date, all that, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. After 33 years, I don't know.
I think that might be something that women do. I'm changing the
view a little bit.
Yeah, because we are just filling up. This is amazing. No, people are here for dinner and they're walking into a party, right?
But we're saying they're here for special spaces, right?
They're here
for that.
And they just didn't know it until they walked in the door, right?
Right?
They're like, hey, it's Fish Fry Friday. Say that 5 times fast. Fish Fry Friday. And Albanese's has the best fish fry around. Amazing Italian food. I'm Italian, so.
They bring a little pasta with the fish fry. Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with that. So I'm very partial to Italian food. Grandfather used to do all the cooking and his lasagna and homemade sauce and all that stuff. So very partial, you know, but this is just like, it's a great family restaurant, great
Right.
family environment. People just come together to do great things like we're doing tonight for Special Spaces.
Yes.
So who was it that we were waiting for to arrive? Bob's sister? Do you see her? Is Bob's sister out in the crowd? I don't know.
I don't think
I
so.
don't
I haven't
know.
seen her yet. She'll pop in.
Yeah.
She'll come in.
Yep.
But hey,
And-
one last thing about Gina, a little
Yes.
tidbit on her is you can tell by my size, but she is an amazing cook. Like she
Yes.
can make dinners, especially Italian spaghetti, lasagna.
Yeah.
And she always feels bad because she's busy. We're traveling. She's got a thousand things going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden one Sunday she'll be like, I'm gonna make all this stuff, right? And so it's a perfect week for me because there's spaghetti in there, there's lasagna,
Yep.
bringing out everything else. So
Now, does she put it in containers for you? So
what
when
do
you
you
get
think?
home,
Yeah.
she does. She totally does. And
marks the date.
marks the date. They're color coded. Chris, blue
Yeah.
is breakfast, orange is lunch, red is dinner, portion controlled,
Yeah.
all that, right?
She got that from her brother Tony, right? He just he marks everything. He knows, he knows he's similar to Gina. He organizes, but he is the kind of person, if something ever happens in this world, go to his house.
Okay.
He'll have 100 tubes of toothpaste, 50 toothbrushes. He'll have everything you can think that you need. Every little gadget, every little thing. He's a Menard shopper and he has it all.
That's like my brother. My brother is, he's prepared for World War III to come in and go to his bunker, and he's gonna, you're taken care of.
Mhm.
He's a former military, so he's a veteran and just has all that stuff down pat.
See, I struggle with that because I'm like, if I don't need it, I'm going to get rid of it, right? And and some people just need to hold on for stuff because someone might need this.
Yeah, and it's definitely. I mean, the food and stuff. I guess he has, rations and all that stuff that he could survive on, but there's other survival tools and things that he has to get him through any
so
major catastrophe.
When you and Bill met, did he talk to you about riding motorcycle? Did you ride him in the past? Because when he told me that he took you out, and it's like a couple days after that, and you absolutely loved it, right?
Yes.
So is that something you did in the past, or was that something you just said, this is pretty cool?
That's a great question. I had been on a motorcycle one time, and I loved it. It was a friend of mine. Actually, no, because I had done that when I was like 15, 16. My friends had motorcycles, so you jump on the back, but it was like nothing.
We did everything when we were 15 and 16.
You went around the block and then you went home.
Exactly.
And it was like, woo, and one of my girlfriends, her dad had a Harley, but it was nothing big. And then I went, when I was out here, another friend of mine, one time, like around the block, and I was so scared, because
it is
scary.
Mm-hmm.
But I fell in love with it. And when I met Bill and he's like, yeah, I have a motorcycle. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can't wait, And we met in February. So it was, we didn't go on the bike until June or whatever. But yeah, absolutely fell in love with it. And I said, you know what? I think I want to get my license. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I want to get my license.
Yeah.
I want to do this. I kind of like to be in control too. I kind of have that, control and power thing going on in my own head. So I did. I took the class at Wisconsin Harley. I failed my road test the first time. And I didn't drop my bike. It was nothing like that. I stalled. I did the exercises perfect, but I stalled the bike 5 times. And you're out. They were very kind and let me proceed through, but I was done and I knew it. And I was devastated because
when you say stalled, is that just like you missed shift and it just died?
Yeah, I didn't. Let the clutch out too fast. I'm like, I'm doing it now. You can't see us on camera because I've got it out there. But I let the clutch out too quick, so I'd stall. Clutch out too quick, not enough throttle. you're done, dead in the water. So it was a little mortifying because Craig Winger, the general manager of Wisconsin Harley, was coming by to pick me up. But it wasn't just Craig and Bill, it was Craig's birthday.
Oh,
So 20 bikes pull into Wisconsin Harley, and they're expecting me to run out and be like, I got my license. And instead, I'm like in tears or trying to
right.
hold back the tears. But that was okay. God's timing is always perfect. So after that, I retook my test and passed. And then I'm like, I'm going to get my license today. So I went to the DMV to take the written test, and I failed. But being as persistent as I am,
Yes.
Bill and I were leaving for vacation, and we actually had a lot of fun because we studied together. So I brought my study guide and all that stuff. And I was like, we were driving. It was a 6-hour drive. So we're driving and I'm reading my manual and I'm like, hey, honey, how about this? And what would you say the answer is to this? And it was great. We had a lot of fun. Came back from vacation, went and took my test, passed. But here's the kicker. I bought a bike before I even took the class.
And I knew that. I knew that. Bill didn't want you to get your license because he's like, I'm gonna miss the hot babe sitting behind me on my motorcycle and snuggling up next to me, going around the turns.
Yeah, well, there'll be times for that for sure. But yeah, I bought a bike my first day. Well, I found the bike I wanted and then went back and bought it the next day. And so I had to figure this out, and I did.
How far have you rode? Like trip, like
Not-
hours? You've been gone. Ride for an hour?
I have not even done that yet because then I buy the bike and Bill and I are out on the road like every weekend through the summer. I bought the bike in May, late May, early June. And then we were out on the road through June, July, August, like every weekend. And then I would take it. I'd go to this parking lot, the GE campus.
Yes. There you go.
Familiar with that
Just
place?
a little bit. Just a little bit.
So Bill, because I was not road ready yet at all. So Bill would ride the bike there for me. And I would ride around the parking lot. Just cruise around the parking lot. And then
Did you have like knee pads on or anything? If you like,
no, I wear a helmet.
Okay.
Wear a helmet.
Yeah.
Wear long sleeves.
Does Bill wear a helmet?
No, he does
he's old
not.
school. Yeah.
No, if he goes on a highway, a long ride, he'll put a helmet on.
Okay.
I don't wear one if I'm on the back of his bike. He's been riding for so long, and I know that we shouldn't, shouldn't say that because accidents happen. But if we're going to be on the highway or something, I always have my helmet with me. But when I ride my bike, full gear, boots, jeans,
leather pants,
leather jacket. No, jeans. I save the leathers for when I'm on the back of his bike.
All right, now we got to move on in this conversation.
The leather pants and the high heels. That's for when I'm the passenger. So, yeah, but yeah, and my bike's name is Ruby. She's ruby red. She's beautiful, and I can't wait to get her out of storage.
Now you named your bike.
Yes.
Does Bill have a name for his bike? I guess I never knew you did that.
Yeah, people name their bikes. It's
Why?
a thing.
Why?
I don't know. I just did. She looks like a big ruby slipper. She's beautiful.
Oh,
she's red and sparkly and ruby. And I was like, her name's Ruby. And my license plate is Ruby. ROOBE. That's all I had left. So, yeah.
Hey, Bill, you want to pop in and say hi to the gang?
Hi, Bill.
How are you doing?
I know this fella.
Yes, we got to fill in.
Mike, are you going to come and talk to us? Oh, my gosh. What a pleasant surprise. Oh, if we haven't completely lost all of Bill's listeners.
We need Mike to talk about the Packers. What's going on? We're losing people left and right.
How are you? I'm good. Woo, sorry, honey.
It's Kristen's birthday tomorrow, Mike.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Can
we're
you
doing
tell?
a little
Happy birthday.
pre-celebration.
Oh, there it is. It's my birthday.
Is it still on? I haven't had that much to drink yet, so it
Yeah.
should still be on. Okay.
How are you
How
guys
are
doing?
you, honey?
I'm okay. I'm all right.
Hey, you know what? I was looking through pictures today,
Yeah.
and you know what I ran upon?
What?
L.A.
Oh, yeah. No, and I owe you some pictures, too. We had this great week. It was a hectic week. We were getting up about 5 or 6 in the morning and running into town. We did Bill's show. We ran into all kinds of great former players. You know, Jaworski, who, Bill, these guys he's got to be friends with. Joe Theismann was on. Jim McMahon. We had a really good interview with Jim McMahon, the Bears
really?
quarterback. Yeah, he had some great stories.
Now, is it true that he had some eye issues and that's why he always wore the dark sunglasses?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. One of the things that I asked him about was, I said, so that 85 team, I mean, I was starting then, but I was on the sidelines for those games. Like, that Monday night game where it was the Bears and the Packers, and Ditka hands off the ball to the fridge for a touchdown, just to kind of kick up the rivalry between the two teams. But that 85 team that went to the Super Bowl, they had so many tremendous personalities. And I said, how did that mix with the way Ditka was? And Jim McMahon said, we were getting popular. We did the Super Bowl shuffle. He said, and then me and a couple of other players got deals with Campbell Soup. And when Ditka got wind of it, he came to us and shut it down. Said, you're not doing any commercials. We're in the middle of a season. We got a chance at the Super Bowl here. No commercials. Okay, fine. He said 2 weeks later, we turn on the TV. Ditka's in the commercial. That's what it was like. That was like playing for Ditka.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I asked him about was, so how do you go from being with the 85 Bears to Brett Favre's backup the year that they win the Super Bowl? I mean, you got to give credit to the Packers to let a guy who, was so hated in 85.
Right.
And now, you're backup.
I don't even remember that.
So the story was, he said, you know what? The year before, Andy Reid, who's coach, he said, you guys came and played us in Cleveland. And I was on the Cleveland roster then, warming up. He said, during their pregame warm-ups, Andy came over to him and said, Jim, why didn't you come to Green Bay? Because they were trying to go after. He said, Andy, I screwed up. He said, I'd like to. He says, as a matter of fact, I'm trying to get out of here now. This place is horrible. And so he jockeyed his way. He got out of Cleveland. He said Cleveland still owes him money to this day.
Oh, really?
He hasn't forgotten, but that's 95. So in 96, he joins the Packers. He said, so then they end up having this good team, this great season. He says, they wake up in the morning of the Super Bowl in New Orleans. And he said, hey, Brett, he says, this just dawned on me. He said, we played our Super Bowl in 85 on this date at this venue, the Superdome.
Oh, wow.
Against the same team, the Patriots. You've got to win this thing. You've got to win this thing today. And
You're talking about my Patriots, Mike.
Yeah. Keep going,
okay.
Mike. Keep going.
It's
Just move on.
okay.
So then, like a couple months later, the Packers go to the White House, right? And so there was a picture that was going around during the week that we were in the Super Bowl where people were ripping on Jim McMahon. Said, yeah, I didn't mean any disrespect, but he wore his number 9 Bears jersey for the Packers photo with, Brett Favre and Reggie White and all those guys standing next to the president of the White House. And he said, everybody thinks I was just doing that to be, a jag or something.
Right.
He said, no, he says, I am Packers. He said to Washington, I said, do you guys mind if I bring along my Bears jersey to wear when we go to the White House? And they go, why? And he said, because he said, when we won in 85, we were all set to go to the White House. And he goes, and 2 days before, the Challenger blew up. And our trip to see Reagan got canceled. And they never rescheduled. So I would just like to do that as a tip of the cap to my boys from 85, 11
That's
years
cool.
later. And so that's why he wore the Bears jersey. Not to hate on the Packers,
Right.
just to say that for his
okay.
Bears players. I thought that was a pretty cool story.
That
So
is a great story.
that's why we go to the Super Bowl.
Let me ask you a question, Mike. Kristen, sorry, I could
Oh,
run.
no.
I could run this 15 minutes real good, right?
We're gonna run with it.
What always
Anything goes.
amazes me when I listen to you guys on the radio, and that is, I could bring up a date of a sporting event that happened in 1997 on May 3rd, whatever, and you guys can go back and talk
Want to
about
talk about the Brewers now or
something.
the Bucks?
I don't know. May that would okay. May well, I don't think the Bucks were playing in May back in '97.
Probably
but
not.
Yeah, but it's like, is it just a special talent, or is it just something inside that you can remember stuff? Because we were talking earlier. My wife will tell me something 2 weeks ago, and I don't remember it 2 weeks later. Right? Like, how is it something you train yourself and think about, take notes, or is it just it's up there?
Well, you keep on getting asked back to do these things if you do a good job, right? So just like accountants,
So you tell the same stories all the time. Is that what you're saying?
Or people in banking have to remember certain laws and regulations and what. Wait a minute, this is the way that works for you. I try and be, the reels start to. I can't remember where I put my car keys, but I can tell you about 7 or 8 plays in the final drive of a game from 30 years ago, just because the recorder turns on and I'm savoring it. The other thing is we're there, or I'm there. That's why I go to these games.
Right.
You got to see it, smell it, feel it, talk to the players, talk to the coaches. I talk to them from both teams, and I write that down, and then I write these reports,
Right.
and we talk about it on the air. And so that's why it's a little easier for me to have that recall in some of those stories. I'm not as good as other guys. There's other guys that just have
you're pretty good,
scary
Mike.
stat recall that just blows me away.
But stats is one thing to me. Stories are another, right? Because when you talk about some stuff, I feel like, I could picture myself in a room with Brett Favre and McMahon talking about whatever, right? I mean, that you make it live to people. Do you keep like a journal of things that you've done in the past? Like, listen, you write home and you got this little book and you write about, I was here, and this special day when I was with Christen and Chris at Joe Albanese's for Special Spaces. Will that make the book?
Did you guys ever go in a meeting where I was with a company almost now 20 years ago where they said, welcome to our company. We're sitting around the conference table. They said, now, tomorrow, all of you will bring a spiral notebook to the meeting. Maybe a legal pad, but we think you should go with spiral notebook. And we want you to just write down a word or two, whatever.
Right.
But you'll be amazed at how much that you'll have recall a month after this meeting of the things I told you I want you to be focused on in the coming weeks.
Right.
And then we did an interview with Peyton Manning, and I'd heard through some folks that I knew at the Colts about his recall and everything. And so I asked him, I said, is it true you've got this collection of spiral notebooks? And he went on and talked about for 10 minutes. It was one of those deals like the other reporters, like, what is this? When are you two going to get done with your little get together?
Yeah.
But Peyton said, I learned this at Tennessee, and he talked about the coach that did it. But it's like he plays in a game, and the week leading up to it, all the notes and all the things he thought about. He said when he gets done with his shower, he starts writing down stuff. Here's what I didn't reckon. Here's what I discovered in that game about the opponent, about the coaches, about plays that worked and everything like that. And he says, then I put them on the shelf from left to right in chronological order. And he said, you'd be amazed how your memory works when it's 5 years later and you've got to face that defensive coordinator again. You can say, was that 2003, 2004 we faced that guy? And then you can find that year and find that game or that year and look it up. And there are all the thoughts that you had from 5 years ago and how much it'll bring back just little things. Now, those guys, they've got all that stuff on file on the games and the tape and everything. But that adds to, your own ingredients to your recipe, of success. So that's
I'm going to be 57 in a few days. Is it too late to start that for me? Should I just skip it?
No.
I think you do a great job, Chris.
As a matter of fact, as you draw close to 60, I encourage you.
There you go. All right.
That's
enough
great.
about sports. We need some good stories about Bill. How did you guys hook up? Anything? Any good stories? You must have a good one with him.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you the day that we met was he was working for the big flamethrower, the flagship.
Yep.
And I was works actually at the time.
Oh, really?
But I was covering the Packer games on the weekends. And the Wisconsin State Fair had a taste of the Wisconsin State Fair, where they asked people from the media, from the radio and TV stations, and some of the newspapers to come out and preview what was some of the cool things they were going to serve for food that year. So I'd been listening to Bill. He'd been in the market for a year or two, and I knew how good he was. And so I talked to him a little bit and got a little bit of his history. And we just clicked, man, because, people think this guy, he's, what is he, 6'4", 6'6", something like that?
Like that.
You know,
Nice.
and because they've been hearing him on radio and TV and all that stuff, is that they think, well, this guy's going to be kind of arrogant. And he's a little quiet. But if you
said that
go
a
up,
few
We
and
were
times.
say,
just talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hi, my name is John, and I listen to your show and all that. Oh, where are you from, John? And the next thing you know, you've talked to him for 20 minutes. And he was the same way. He didn't quite know the show that I was doing mornings over on the mix.
Right.
But I told him about some other things. And then he just told me about Cincinnati and when he came here and
Yep.
all that.
Yep.
And every time I saw him in the press box and stuff from there on out, we'd hang out and get a pregame meal together, whatever. And then I made a change with a station I was at. And he says, are you a free agent? Because we'd both been battling each other. It was either him or me on ESPN, because that's what they were doing back then.
Right.
During the whole Favre saga, the summer of 2008. And he's the first guy that said, you want to come on my show? I go, you know what? I can now. I can. Yeah, sure.
There you go.
And I've been with him since the summer of 2008.
Yeah.
All right. How about when you met the beautiful Christen? How did that go? First
Well, fine.
time.
Well, fine.
Was it?
Did you go out and have
Right at Daddy's Tiki Bar, I think.
there?
Yeah,
was just
that's
gonna
right.
yeah.
The summer party.
Right.
That was the first time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bill
And
has a
then-
nice setup with that tiki bar, doesn't
Oh
he?
yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then we went on
Now, I
vacation.
can't
Not
remember. Is that the
vacation,
one
but
where I
we
was
went to-
shirtless chasing the dogs in the neighborhood? Or
No, that was a
some other
Christmas
time.
party.
Some other time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And running,
I think
running
I think
without
like
your
the
shirt on
pants
in
fell
the snow.
down or something. You tripped into the ditch or something like that.
The night's
I don't know.
early. I mean,
Yeah.
And then we went to LA.
and
We went
LA
to Super Bowl. I mean,
Yeah.
I had to work. I was working. These guys would get up in the morning and take off and go to Radio Row, and I'd have to be home working.
Right.
Yeah, you
from
learn
the
a lot
apartment.
about people during these 8-9 day Super Bowl trips.
Oh yeah,
I
'Cause,
can imagine.
but we had a great
4
time.
hours of sleep and then a lot of work, and then about 7 o'clock, then we go out and explore and
Yeah.
have some fun and do that.
You
But
can get kind of
she-
ornery after.
You
Right.
you did some of the coolest things for us, because I just think football, maybe make some connections for tomorrow's show
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. And then she says there was this special that Adele did that was on TV in January, and they taped it at the Griffith Observatory, which is this huge telescope that's been there since the Depression days.
Right.
A WPA project, I think, that's up in the Hollywood Hills. It's not far from the Hollywood sign. And I'm like, are you in? I go, I've heard of that place, but I've never gone because I love that kind of stuff, museums. So Bill takes us up, and she and I are looking over the cliff like, whoa.
Getting
I mean,
vertigo.
Yeah, it looked
Oh.
like a silly, Roadrunner cartoon or something. Like,
Right.
you're off and you're down several
Yeah.
thousand feet. But we get all the way to the top, and we pull in the parking lot, and this place is just beautiful. I mean, and the sun was setting, and you can look out over the entire city. I was thinking the old Dragnet thing. This is the city, and then out to the ocean. And so and it's just a beautiful building. We took lots of pictures up there. And then she suggested, or had a friend out there who said, you've got to go to this Japanese restaurant. Beautiful place in the hills with a Japanese garden and fish, open bar. And then we ended up having this great dinner and laughed all night long.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, that
that's
was
awesome.
the best.
And
The
I
best.
mean, that's the most fun I've had a couple of years. That was great.
Yeah.
So that helps us reset, clear our minds and all that. Also, we did something that was really cool. I thought it was great. She said, "Have you seen the movie Pretty Woman?" Sure. It's on a loop in
Right.
my house with my wife and daughters. And she said, so there's that scene where they're meeting and they're in the lobby of this hotel. It's the Wilshire Hotel.
Mhm.
Wilshire-
Beverly Hills Wilshire Hotel. Yeah.
And so we're kind of going up and down Rodeo Drive to see how the other half live, to see how where the players are spending their money these days, right? Where LeBron and company are spending their money. So we go to this place, and it's just great. It's grand, and there's all these kinds of characters in the place, and we got this. It's once in a lifetime. We don't live like this all the time, but we got these great martinis for $25. They're this big. They're the best ingredients you've ever had in the most fascinating lobby. I'll remember that forever. So those are great to get someone in there where I'm just kind of thinking about the game and all that. It's like, hey, let's take a break and see stuff around town.
Yeah.
It's great.
Plus, it was a
Aw,
business
thanks,
trip, so
Mike.
the business
Yeah.
pays for it, right?
Well, yeah.
Not my business.
Yeah. Right.
The good thing too on my side, the fortunate thing, I have a customer that lives out in LA, so we were able to meet up with him for dinner
Who
and
invests-
his
nice.
who
wife.
invests a
and-
lot in the Milwaukee and Chicago area.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We don't
Good.
lend out in LA, but we do lend in Chicago, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Indiana area, and he is one of our lending customers in Illinois. So I
Well, a little
just
plug here. What bank is it again?
Oh, that
and
would
what
be
it-
CIBM
There you
Bank.
go.
That's
There you go.
donating, matching. They're matching $500 in tips tonight.
And who should they connect with?
The bar. They need to go to the bar and drop off some tips.
You know, the person that works at the bank that can
Oh.
help them.
Me? Oh, me. See, my mind doesn't even work like
Oh,
that.
come
You're
on.
so good.
Come on.
Yes, me. Yeah, we do. Yeah, it's a great bank. But we got to take a David and his family out for dinner, and then we took them to media party, and it was a great time.
You know,
and
the
that goes
media
a long
party
way.
was
But
at the Universal Studios
so
tour.
much fun.
And I thought, okay, I did that as a kid. No, there were some rides there that were better than when I took my kids to Epcot and the Magic Kingdom about 5 years ago
Oh,
in
really?
Orlando. I was blown away. That Universal. So there's things like that I probably wouldn't have never thought of to go to, but the league set us up for the night. We had the whole park to ourselves on a Friday night, about 400 or 500 people, you'd say.
I would say about that. Yeah.
And we had the park to ourselves on a Friday night. Great experience and a lot of incriminating photos. That you'll never see social media.
I don't know about that, but it was definitely a great time. And it's so funny because I was looking at pictures today and of when we were at the restaurant, and I've got my hand on the big Buddha.
Yeah.
The Japanese
Japanese
restaurant had a big
restaurant,
Buddha. It was,
I got
so
you.
and it brought me back. It was like that was my, people look back at that time and say, what was your favorite, what was the best time that you had in LA? And it was that day.
Oh, that's
That
awesome.
day.
And then
So,
we get to see this game where, they made a few right free agent moves. It's a team that the Packers had no problem seeming to beat during the playoffs last year and the regular season. But then the Rams got their act together. They got out at the right time. And now here Matthew Stafford has just as many Super Bowl rings as Aaron Rodgers. I mean, what is that?
Yeah,
And his first time at bat out of Detroit. He connects.
Sometimes I don't understand how we keep getting to these championship games, and it seems to me, my opinion, that Rodgers always seems to struggle in the big games, right? Maybe it's just my perception, or just as a fan, like I have to come up with some excuse, but
There's
it's
getting
just
to be a pattern. And I'll tell you what, whereas Brett threw that ball in the cold and he was thinking about Donald Driver and Corey Webster intercepts it.
right.
That ends their season.
Right.
And then Brett, 2 years later, is with the Vikings. All he's got to do is just hang on to the ball, get a little bit into field goal position.
Right.
But he takes that chance and throws across his body, and the Saints intercept it, and ends the Vikings' trip to a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers is just the opposite. It says, I'm not going to make that mistake.
Won't take the
But
chance.
at the same time, here he's thrown to Devontae Adams with the last time he's got the ball in his hands in that game. And instead, it's Alan Lazard is over the middle, wide open.
Yeah.
And, I ended up being the first one called on in that press conference in the playoff loss to the 49ers. And I said, well, I don't know where to start, after watching this game where they scored like 10 points.
Right.
And I said, talk about the last series. And I'll give Aaron credit, because I was sort of re-listening to these things again a couple of weeks ago. He was mumbling, well, we did this on that play, and they had this defense, and we tried this, and we tried that. And, I probably should have thrown to Allen. So, he fessed up.
Right.
He which means he knew then. Didn't have to look at, it was in the back of his mind. He knew everybody's in the field, but he took a shot, thought he would throw to the number one guy because he trusts them the most in that clutch situation.
Yeah,
And it didn't
you
work
talk
out.
about not taking the chance. When this all happened, with the 49ers and they got kicked out of the playoffs, someone I had heard or someone had talked to me about that. Look at Peyton Manning. He's won all these MVPs, and he has one Super Bowl, right?
Right, and he went. He's got.
Well, he's got.
He hit 3 trips, and he won 2. One with the Colts and one with the Broncos.
And they talked about Aaron Rodgers, how he's getting all these MVPs,
Yeah,
and it's all based on the season,
right.
right?
Right.
But Tom Brady, you look at him based on just the playoffs.
He's got all the rings.
Right. He's got it to show for it. And I think if I look at it, Tom Brady, to me as a quarterback, is conservative. He'll take what you give him. He'll keep doing it. He'll kneel down, take a sack because, he doesn't want to get tagged. He's not going to throw a stupid play. But then out of nowhere, he'll make a pass or throw it to someone that gets them a touchdown, gets them, a first down. He just seems like he's more methodical, and he throws the ball and in spots takes a chance when he really has to.
He threw 3 interceptions when he beat the Packers at Lambeau Field 2 years ago to advance to the Super Bowl. So he just takes those chances and just keeps on going. He's got a tremendous presence and patience about him. I'll make one other point, then I got to go on here. Hey, Joe.
I'm going to keep you here.
Oh, you are? Well, I got some order coming up too.
Hey, Alex.
I made this point today on the show. I think you need to.
Why'd you come here and talk some sports, Mike? Come on.
Today, I had this thought. You guys remember what the block punt, against the 49ers, right? Yeah. So
see, here we go. You guys remember all this stuff.
Well, the point is this. Remember when the Packers lost to the Seahawks?
You made this point today.
The onside kick.
You made this point
Brandon
today.
Bostic.
That was heartbreaking.
Okay, he got released. They didn't bring him back, even though they really liked him as a tight end.
Yeah, you made this
You're
point
gone.
today on your social.
Yeah. Then later today, or later on, we had this game against the Rams at the Coliseum about 3 years ago.
Ty Montgomery.
Ty Montgomery is supposed to catch the ball and take a knee and give Aaron Rodgers the ball with a minute and a half, 2 minutes left to play at the 20. Instead, Ty says, I think I can take this out. I'm going to be a hero.
It's going to be Randall Cobb going 108 yards against the Saints.
There you go.
He comes out, and not only does he not really get to the 20, he fumbles. Rams take over, clock the game. It's over. And he got let go on Tuesday. Special teams, right? So now you've got this punt where you've got a center, a long snapper that's not very big.
He weighs about 20 pounds more than me.
You put a 6'6", 270-pound defensive lineman right on him. You got Oren Burks playing guard. I've noticed that some of these guys put linebackers because they're thinking more coverage than they are protection for the punter. He's releasing downfield. Henry Black, who's actually been pretty good on special teams, but he's supposed to be that personal protector back there for the punt. He's not even looking up the middle. He takes off. All those guys were thinking cover, cover, cover. Get downfield and cover the return. He takes off. Well, so here this guy comes unchecked straight on Corey Bojorquez. Henry Black ain't coming back. He's sitting there waiting for the phone to ring. Corey Bojorquez has been replaced by Pat O'Donnell from the Bears.
Right.
Okay. Oren Burks, ironically, just signed with the
Francisco.
49ers. And Mo Drayton, the special teams coordinator, gone. So it is interesting. You screw up on special teams, don't expect to be back a second
So
time.
let me ask you one more question before Joe hops in here.
Yeah.
Is one of the games that surprised me in the playoffs this year was when the Bills lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And there was,
Great game.
13 seconds
Great
left
game.
or something. And they kicked it out of the end zone.
Yeah.
Right. And let, Holmes get at the 25 of them. And then it was like they passed 3 times, kind of like the same play, and the Bills never covered it, right? And it's like, what happens during that, Mike? Is it like too many things are happening for an inexperienced team, and maybe the coach for a huge moment? But it's like they fell apart in 13 seconds and lost the game.
You know what I've heard over and over again? Coaches say, we actually ran out of plays. I mean,
Seriously?
really, it's like they get in that down and distance
Yeah.
and those situations and scenarios, and maybe they've got 13 plays in that little box, and they feel like I've called these all 3 times. I don't know what to do. I mean, that sometimes happens with these play callers. They actually say, we've kind of run out of plays because 3/4 of those in that situation, and I'm so focused that that's what it's going to take.
Right.
And that's where the difference is when you have Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or maybe even Aaron Rodgers, where in the huddle they say, all right, we're going to do this, except I'm going to take you from the slot and move you outside. You run the same route, because I saw the way they were coming with the safety and where the blitz is going to come from, whether it's this side or that side of the edge and all that. That's where the quarterback comes in sometimes and can do that. And maybe, that's something that Josh Allen's going to spend time learning that in the offseason. Don't you think?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. And you see teams like that. And the term is learning how to win. And you see young coaches and young players, they all go through this. And I think you saw it with Brett Favre as a Packer. We all did. You saw it with Aaron Rodgers. One question I want to talk about. Well, we can talk Packers, but I really want to.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you and Chris were talking about Clayton or not, but he was known as the professor. And he was really, truly, I think, one of the first NFL quote-unquote insiders.
Yeah.
And he wasn't about the clickbait and the flash and everything else that's going on right now.
He's a newspaper man.
And you posted about John Clayton.
Yeah.
And you've talked about it. Tell me about and tell the viewers and listeners about your experience with John Clayton.
Well, you get assigned to go down to the NFL Combine about 17 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, then, John was at the peak of his career as the NFL insider for ESPN.
Right. Now, he was Pittsburgh, then Seattle, right, as far as the local
Yeah,
guy.
as a kid, he grew up in Pittsburgh, but he had become an established guy covering the Seahawks out in Seattle, bigger market, both newspaper and also now on radio up there. So ESPN would use him because he was so well connected.
Right.
And he went 365 through, the NFL meetings, which are happening this coming week down in Florida.
Mm-hmm. Are you heading down?
All the chapters in the year. No, not at this time.
Okay.
Not at this time. So all the other chapters that are going on. So, there you are. There's this guy that, you've been watching on TV for the last 20 years, and now you find yourself assigned to cover this stuff. And, you don't go out of your way. Gee, Mr. Clayton, how you doing? You don't do that.
Right.
But at some point, sometimes, you'll be talking to some other guys that you do know, like, Adam Schefter, who is still working for the Denver Post then, and he's asking you stuff about Green Bay, and then John will come up and ask him, hey, Adam, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yeah, this is Mike, he covers Green Bay. And oh, hi, how you doing? And then he asks you 5 questions. Where are you from? Yeah, I'm actually from Milwaukee, but I cover the Packers and others. And then he asks me a couple of questions, and how do you think this is going to work out between Sherman and Favre and that kind of stuff? Because you're there every day. And then the next thing you know, he recognizes your face and says, hey, how you doing? And he's just one of the guys. He's one of the guys. Then you're at the Super Bowl, and, I go to all these press conferences during the day. I try and grab something to eat. Then I go back to our table in the media workroom because I've got monitors there, and I can, work till about 11 o'clock at night. Sometimes I do these pre-recorded reports there the next morning on the stations that we cover.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm in my elements. I got all my stuff laid out. I got my notes. I just had all these interviews. I'm trying to pick the best quotes of the day from both teams that are in the Super Bowl and all that. All the place is all empty, right? They're out to the Super Bowl parties. They're out, bar like this. There's John Clayton over there. Voice tracking stuff, writing, working till 11 o'clock. He should have people doing this. No, there he is.
That's amazing.
It's like 300 empty tables, and me and Les Grobstein and a couple other guys like that, and then the kid from Milwaukee that's doing this stuff. And so, it's just, you're just one of the guys. You're just one of the guys. And then I started seeing, though, that, boy, John is just on the clock. But then about 5 o'clock on Fridays, he punches out.
Okay.
And one time I saw him at the Combine pushing this woman that was in a wheelchair. It's his wife.
Okay. Pat, right?
Yeah, Pat. She has MS.
Okay. Yes.
Pat has MS.
Yes.
And so somebody said, yeah, John punches out Friday night because that's John and Pat. They go out. He takes her out to dinner
That's
every Friday night. So while she's at home, waiting, having MS, and in the wheelchair, the nervous disorder. He takes her, and would bring her to things like Super Bowl and Combine, and she could be in the room and take care of things like that for him. But you talk to him on Friday night because that was his personal time, and that's just,
Right.
that's as good as it gets. That's as good as it gets, and that's why people trusted him with their word. That's why people came to him and said, "What do you think, John? I mean, am I seeing this wrong?" When it came to the agents, when it came to the players, when it even came to the coaches or some of the owners. And the other thing that John would do is that when we were up in Seattle and Pete Carroll was up there, Pete Carroll is actually a very likable guy, but we know on camera during the Hail Mary gate and all that stuff, whatever we call that thing, Fail Mary.
Fail Mary.
He knows he's getting away with something that the refs have made a bad call. They ran off the field and everything. And he's just, and only John Clayton could ask him directly, wait a minute. The ref said this. The clock said this. The call was this. The replay said this. How do you answer this? I mean, there was no filters on him. If the question was there in the room, the 800-pound elephant, John Clayton asked that question, and it always came off in a way where he wasn't being a jerk.
Right.
Or wasn't trying to bring attention to himself. He's just trying to get it right. That's all. That's why it was such a shock that he was gone. And
67 years old. Way too young.
67, yeah. It was some kind of a short illness.
Yeah.
I haven't really heard what it was.
Right.
But I know that he was filing stories up until about the 10th of March, and he passed on the 18th.
Well, Michael, I know you posted about John Clayton and you talked about him. And one of my idols in the sports journalism world was Dick Schaap. And I had a chance to meet Dick and talk with him. But let me ask you this, and then I'll let you get your food. But your 5 favorites, because you've been covering the Packers for how long?
Well, since I was 20.
And
covering games.
You're 40 now?
And I was going to say you're only 30 now, right? So give me
It's
your
going to be 40 years this spring.
40
fall.
years. So you've been covering the Packers for 40 years. Give everyone your 5 favorites to interview, to talk to. Could be coaches, could be players, could be Red Beatty, the equipment manager, could be anybody.
Oh, I think you're talking media people or just anybody.
You know what? Let's talk associated with the Green Bay Packers first and foremost.
It's a good question. I never really thought about it.
So
you got about a minute before Special Spaces comes back up here,
Okay,
Mike.
okay. So just in terms of players,
we'll go there.
Paul Kaufman was great when I first started out. The tight
Love
end.
Kaufman, you bet,
Yeah,
from Kansas.
Yeah, Lynn Dickey was good to talk to.
Okay.
Donald Driver would talk off mic as much as he talked on mic, which was pretty good.
Okay.
Charles Woodson really wouldn't talk during the week, but it was all when in his time in Green Bay, it was pretty much understood that after game, I'll talk to you. And Charles Woodson was gold the way he broke it down. And all those guys on that Packers Super Bowl team too, Reggie and a little from Chimura, and then Leroy Butler would kind of tie it all for you. Rodgers is great. I mean, Rodgers could just be the best analyst on TV because you saw how he did Jeopardy, right?
Absolutely.
And the way he breaks it down, and I really appreciate it. But nobody beats Favre. Nobody. He is the funniest guy on the planet. He's just, and it just comes to him. I was at this softball flag football game he did at Camp Randall, right?
Yep.
And I was in the locker room with Dorsey Levens and Donovan McNabb, and I mean all these great pros, really golf, and they were all just kind of kidding with each other. When Favre walked in, they all went like this. Favre is up here. He's Elvis. He owns the room when he walks in, and he's just so funny. One of my favorite stories is we're at practice, and there's a Make-A-Wish kid and their family on the sidelines. So during the water break, Brett comes over, and the family says, Bobby, this is Brett. Hey, and Brett goes, hey, how you doing, son? And so they're going back and forth, and then the kid says, so is there a radio in the helmet? And he goes, yeah. Yeah, it gets everything. AM, FM.
There you be. That is
Sirius,
beautiful.
HBO.
That is beautiful.
Like satellite TV. Yeah, it gets everything in here.
Well, I will say this. For Packer fans, you are the professor,
Well,
Mike Clemens.
Thank you, buddy.
Yes.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
listen,
Mike.
seriously. So
Thank you. Appreciate it. I could talk to you all
and,
night.
and I know you have
Thank you guys for
Albanese's
listening.
food right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you
get
guys
out
for
there.
listening.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Yep. Kristen, you're
Wow.
back.
I am back. I have so many special people out
Yes,
there that I had
yes.
to say hello to because they took time out of their busy days
I know.
to come out and support
Signing
us.
autographs.
But we've got some special people with us with special spaces. Who's are you both coming on
Yep.
or yeah?
No, Ann.
Okay.
Ann and Chris Swain. Now, Ann, Chris,
Do you want to interview or you want me to? You want to do it?
no, you can do it. You can do
Okay.
it. You're great at it. I
Oh
was
my
just
God.
going to say that you started it in Wisconsin, right? Special Spaces.
So, 2004, the organization started actually in Knoxville, Tennessee, and Ann and I brought it to Wisconsin along with a woman by the name of Kathy Schmidt from Mequon, and we've been here since 2011.
That's fantastic. Kathy Schmidt from Mequon. What else is she involved
She's
in?
a home builder, so there's a big home building firm, and
Okay, because I know that name.
that's
I
possible. They're
know
big
that
home
name, and I
building,
live in
big
Grafton.
big family business. Yes.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
they're an amazing family, and we were grateful that Kathy Schmidt, brought embassies,
Embassy Homes.
yeah,
Okay.
along and helped build Special Spaces Wisconsin, and we are grateful for all their involvement and really proud of. We've done over 200 rooms locally, and
Okay.
over 1,300 across the country, and it's an amazing to really help children and families that really need it during
Yeah.
these troubled times.
Right. And I was saying to Shannon earlier when I was at the gala, watching the video of the bedroom and the kids, and just the light in their eyes, and the parents just. I cried. I cried.
We all
How
do.
could you not?
Sure.
How could you not?
We all
And that was my first introduction to this charity, this not-for-profit organization. So I'm hooked.
Well, when children are diagnosed with cancer, their lives stop.
They do.
And we are so fortunate to have Children's Wisconsin right here to really help. But it's when these families go home, it's the environment. They need a healing space
Yes.
in their house. So it's really exciting. We send the family away. And in 24 hours, we transform the space for whatever that child envisions. And it's a process. Our volunteer directors are matched with the families. We interview the child, we interview the parents, ask what their wish is, whether it's a teen retreat or a princess or a superhero. Our magical team of volunteers will go and make that happen, from closet storage to organization, and making sure that that environment in their space is exactly what they need.
Right. And not a lot of people get to see the behind the scenes in an oncology department at a children's hospital.
Right.
I did. And not because of my children, that's a whole other story.
Sure.
But we were talking earlier about Mrs. East Greenwich. When I was Mrs. East Greenwich on the East Coast, I got this whim to be a beauty pageant person. But what that afforded me to do was give back to charity and participate in a lot of charity events. And I got to go to Rhode Island Children's Hospital. And they let me into the oncology department. And I kind of get choked up talking about it because I got to see firsthand some of these kids were going to go home and some weren't, and then they were just little cherubs, and you wanted to just wrap your arms around each and every one of them and just make it all better. Just make it all better,
So that, that's part of the enthusiasm we have for our mission, is that the survival rate of childhood cancer is dramatically higher than it was even a decade
Yes.
ago. There's not a lot of funding. There's not nearly as much funding for research as I think all of us would like, but that research funds are growing. The survivor rate is going up. And we actually believe creating a positive an environment helps. We all know the healing part of an environment. And if we didn't know that, we learned that in the last 2 years, how important when we were all at home a lot, our environment. So we're really excited to be part of creating a healing environment. And the good news is most of our children now are off to college and getting married and doing great things.
Yes.
Where maybe 5 or 10 years ago we weren't so sure. So now we're so excited that that's happening.
Yeah, I wish I had known about something like this back then, because it was about 10 years ago when I had done that. So just fantastic what you guys do and bring to the community,
it's
and what you've
exciting.
accomplished is just so tremendous. And thank you.
Well, it's bringing
for
like-minded
everything.
people together. We have amazing volunteer directors that help guide and design and help to
Well, how about
transform
just
these
what Bill and
spaces.
Gina are doing for us?
Oh,
I
Right?
mean, amazing.
Yeah.
The generosity these two show,
And
the enthusiasm they both show for what they're doing is incredible. So.
Right.
And
to
thanks
see
to
all these people.
Albanese's. They're amazing.
Thank you. Thank
Cheers to you.
you. Cheers to everybody. So for those who are listening at home and are unable to attend tonight's event, you can see on our screen we have a donate here, specialspaces.org. Donate. Please be sure to tap the Wisconsin chapter, as well as in the message field put tips for Albanese's, just so we can track
We
everything
would love
for
that.
you.
Thanks so much. We're
You're
basically
so
an all
welcome.
volunteer organization.
Yes.
So every dollar goes right into
To the rooms.
to a mission in the room.
That's wonderful. And if you are on the link and you want to volunteer, find that tab too, and get some information.
We're
on how to
always-
volunteer.
Or nominate a child. If you know someone in the southeastern
Perfect.
Wisconsin who
Yeah.
might be interested, you can nominate a child. You don't have to be the parent. At least acknowledge it. We'll reach out to the family, and maybe one of your listeners could be the inspiration for one of our next children.
See, this is why we had you guys on. You are amazing people. I'm so blessed and honored to be able to have met you tonight. Thank you for
Thanks.
all that you do.
Thank you.
And thanks
And
for
we-
the listeners. We're so happy
Yes.
you've listened in, and we hope to maybe to meet you sometime and help volunteer with us. Thanks so
Absolutely.
much. Really
Thank
appreciate you
thank
for having
thank
us.
You guys. You guys did a great job. Thank you for coming on. Thank you. Thank you so much. Always, always. What an amazing night. What a way to spend my birthday, too.
Aren't they amazing?
Really?
Yeah,
I
it suits me though.
I owned I'll have a
Oh,
well, I
I'm
told
good.
Bill, I said, honey, your show might not be yours on Monday morning.
yeah, we're gonna take over.
Chris and it's Chris and Christen C Squared here tonight at the event at Albanese Special Spaces.
I just want to say one thing. I wasn't able to be on with you, and you did a great job talking with Ann and Chris Swain. But you ever run across people that you just take a step back and you're like, you are as nice on the inside as you are on the outside, and
Yes.
they're good people. I mean, we met Bob and Susan Piekenbrock years ago. Bob and Gina's relationship, and then we get to know Special Spaces and Ann and Chris and all what they've done, and Bob has a couple other sisters, but the family is just awesome. You know, even you meet their kids, right? They you talk to them. I mean, they're all energized. They're all happy. They all are focused, right? When you talk to them about Special Spaces, it is an amazing group of people that I think Chris touched on it at the end about, it's all volunteers, right? They don't really
Yes.
have a staff. And it's just like when you can bring people together and have them work together and build something together. And I've seen, some of the rooms, and Pella did a room last year, and it just like you said, it hits you. You know,
Yes.
it kind of changes you as a person. It brings a couple tears to your eyes, and you're so thankful that there are people around that can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And the volunteer side of things for, sometimes people monetarily just can't,
Right.
but
Right.
they have time.
Right.
And time is precious and so appreciated when it comes to volunteer work. I know for Fisher House, Wisconsin, Bill's charity that he works with, we do that big ride every
Right.
year for the
Yeah.
veterans, and we need volunteers. Like, it's volunteers are in any organization they're the crutch.
Right.
They get you through and make things happen. So without them, you have
Exactly.
nothing. So
Even a
it's
little
funny when
prayer.
Bob says, "I'm just a volunteer." It's like, no, you're
Right.
not just a
Right.
volunteer. You are a major cog in the machine, as I like to say. With you take that out, the machine's not going to run. So what are you going to
You're
do?
right. You're
So
right.
anybody out there who's looking to volunteer, be a part of this wonderful organization, please visit specialspaces.org, and they have a volunteer tab, so you can reach out and find out how to be a part of this charity out here and help these kids. So
Let's check in on.
yeah,
you got
I
a
was
guest
just
coming
going
up?
to do.
We gotta
No,
check in on.
we're going to check in.
Bill and Gina. I want to do that.
Yeah, right. So right now, Bill Michaels is auctioning off a two-car garage space. Floor, refloor. Wonderful. So who got it?
I don't know. I think they're doing it. We should ask Bill when it ends.
7.
No, but I mean when the bid for the epoxy flooring, which I could have used probably about 6 months ago.
Okay.
My son Austin, who just got engaged, is
I
in the
know.
house.
I'm so happy for you. So our listeners, our viewers must be wondering what's going on right now.
Yeah.
So
Chris and Christen are actually stopped talking.
Yeah, right. Do you know how hard this is? We've been talking since 5 o'clock. It is 6:32.
Yes.
This
Maybe
is
it's
an
easier
amazing feat.
than we thought it was. And maybe Bill is not the stud, like, radio guy. Maybe he's just an average Joe that can talk for 4 hours.
Maybe. Are we gonna? Maybe we're gonna quit our jobs on Monday, and
I don't think so.
maybe we're gonna have offers pouring in for the Chris and Christen show.
I'm gonna run out of stories in like
Chris,
3 shows. Well, maybe not.
we'll never run out of stories ever.
Let me ask Bill. Bill, how long?
Okay. Are we ready to go? I'm sitting here and I'm reading all of these.
How long does the raffle go for? The guy bought it. Oh, he did?
We sold the garage space has been sold. I don't know if I want to give you that microphone.
Yeah, Bill, we're going to give you 2 minutes. Kristen, start the timer right now.
Do we have Bill Michaels in the house here?
Yeah, and I've never heard of that guy.
No. Is this too loud out there? Now we've got the
No,
real
we're good.
radio
We're
voice
good.
on.
We're good back here.
Hey, now
So
if
let's,
Gina's sweating, does that mean she's doing all the work back
No, she's sweating, looking like she's doing a lot of work. She's fantastic. And she, you know what? I've always said bartending, back in the day when I owned bars, I've always said bartending, there's an art to knowing how to mix drinks, but bartending is 95% personality. And you live with her. So, you know, she's making money, you know. Yeah, she's making money. What's funny is I work this side of the bar and she's working that side of the bar, and she's got the tip jar switched and we're crushing it over here. And she's like, look at how much money I've made. So, you know, she's taking credit for everything.
She's very.
And we got $40 from our friends at
All my friends.
All my friends at Great Charity. We'll be at their charity tomorrow night.
Yes,
So we
this is
had
actually our first donation.
So we had Sean from Epoxy Flooring Done Right had texted me and said, hey, I'd love to donate a floor. And he said a 2-car garage, and which is about $2,500. And he just said whatever you can get for it. Yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
So I just said, hey, we'll throw it up there. And some guy bought it right away. I said, give me $400. He said, I've got a 3-car garage. I'll give you, I don't know, $750, $1,000, whatever it was. And he said, I'll catch you on my way out. So we sold that like right now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. People have been great about it, even though we're not necessarily the most astute behind the bar. I am, by the way, working on the 1 for you, 2 for me method.
Okay.
So, you know, yeah.
Honey, am I driving home tonight?
I'm wearing a
Is that
diaper
what
tonight.
you're telling me?
So, I mean, not that I don't normally, but tonight will be a bigger one, a little more absorbent.
Oh, honey.
So, but it's good. It's been a good event,
Now,
and
did
it's
you-
crowded. It's been packed pretty much all night.
You didn't get any phone numbers, did you?
I did
any of
not.
these
I did
fine
not.
ladies
But
in
I
there
haven't
pass
checked
their
my
phone
back
number?
pocket yet.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
you know, I'm not promising anything. You know, hey, anybody over the age of 75, they look at all of this. You know, I'm telling you. You know,
You know, Bill, we were
I was a
just up
stuntman in geriatric porn
Oh
years
my
ago.
God.
So.
Oh my God.
there. You know, here I was just going to say something nice, you know, but you know, we were just talking about special spaces.
Yeah.
We had Chris and Ann Swain.
I can't believe, by the way, you guys have been going this long. I thought it'd be about 20 minutes. You'd be out the door. You guys are just crushing it.
It's Chris and Kristen.
Yeah.
It's C squared. We don't
But
stop.
you're right. The people from Special Spaces are here, and they've been great. And so we put a nice little package together for them for next year.
Yeah, it is good. And I wanted to say to you, Bill, you know, and I've known you for a few years, is that, you know, you're one of those special people too, because when I think about it,
Well,
and-
what are we talking about special? What direction
Good
are we
point.
going with this special?
you know it's me, so
We
Yeah.
can
it's
go
a
either
positive
way right now.
But in all seriousness, it's you hold a lot of events for a lot of people. You know, every time I talk to you, it's like, oh, I'm going to this bar, I'm doing this event.
Yeah.
And to me, that is draining. Like, there's nights I like to just come home and like hit the couch, put on ESPN, some sports game or whatever. And it's like you are always doing that. And I don't know if if a lot of people just really say thank you at the event, they say thank you, but when they get
Yeah.
you,
You know, it's
you gotta realize how much you help people.
when you
Just
see
bringing people together.
point A to point B and it happened, like when I get a chance, Kristen and I get a chance to go see a room built or help, then you see it happen. You can follow from point A to point B. When you see, you know, when on the board of the Fisher House, when you saw nothing and then dirt being turned, and then, you know, all of a sudden, you know, you see a house built for $6.5 million, and you're like, wow, you know, this community did something, and you're a little bit of a part of it. It's a neat thing, and if you know, it's like the people from Special Spaces are here. And I was talking to him. I said, look, I can donate this. You know, I'll make a donation. This is what we'll put together, a good package for you for next year. After going to that event, which blew me away. I mean, I've been to events where it raises, you know, $2,000, and I've been to events that raise $150,000. That was amazing. So I thought we'll put something together pretty nice that can maybe is a very unique experience. And what you want is things that nobody can get. And we have access to a lot of things. So that's what we're going to do. And we'll put a nice package together for them for next year. But yeah, we'll, you know, getting point A to point B is pretty cool.
We have some
Hey, baby.
breaking news.
We have some breaking news.
What's that?
I believe that there's a bidding war out there. Is there
Really?
a bidding war
Really?
out there for,
Yeah.
this
For
epoxy
Gina,
floor?
did you lose your wife?
Oh no. For the epoxy floor, is that right?
Is that what it
right,
is?
Chris? Is
Yeah, I
there a
think
bidding war?
A bidding
A
war
bidding
for the
war
epoxy
the
flooring?
floor?
They're
No, Gina asked if we could
Hey,
get
Gina,
another
come-
one.
Can we get another one?
Can we get another floor donated?
You know what? I will. Yes, we'll get another one. I'll get another. Sean's going to shoot me, but I'll get another. If I got to come and install the floor myself,
you and me.
I'll do
Honey,
it.
we're trying to raise money.
Well,
here.
but
We're
I'll do it
trying
wearing a
to
pair of
raise-
Daisy Dukes and a
I
tool belt.
said
That's all I'll
we're
wear.
trying to
I'll be
raise
happy to.
money
So yeah, so we'll do that. So yeah, we're getting Gina over here.
Yeah.
How many people you got? You got a couple thousand on this thing, right?
Yeah.
You guys
We've been going strong all night long.
really?
Honey.
That's
I'm
awesome.
telling you.
Now you're telling people where to go to donate too, right?
Of course, we're going to specialspaces.org.
Gina, what's up with the epoxy flooring?
So many people are asking, and it went so fast. It's put in here and didn't know.
Oh,
More people are
so more people are interested?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you find another one for 500, we'll do that again. Yeah. Or well, because Chris and I are already throwing on tool belts and Daisy Duke shorts.
We've got to get a shot of this. All these
Okay.
people.
Well, nobody put their hand up right away, so we just kind of sold it off. So, who knows? Maybe I stand on the bar later and make the moneymaker move. Something like that.
No. Again, honey, we're trying to raise money here.
Well, I'm talking about you though.
You're bringing
so.
the show down.
Yeah.
You're bringing the show down.
Again.
I've thrown it right into the gutter. That's okay. I'm used to it. So anyway, that being said, it's just been great, and everybody that came out tonight has been great. I've seen friends, obviously CIBM Bank, and a lot of the people from your bank have been here.
Yes.
CIBM Chris,
Bank
your
in
and
the
Gina's
house.
friends are here tonight, and a lot of people from. Oh, I'm supposed to smile. It's like I'm wearing feathered underwear. But
later,
just a lot of people that listened that came in. I saw Jim Vanderveld over there. I have not seen Jim Vanderveld in 15 years. He used to run Uptown Motors years and years ago, and he showed up and he's like, "Hey." And then he asked me to make a Manhattan and olives and all that kind of stuff. But I haven't. So people that I haven't seen in a while have come in and wanted to be a part of this. So
And we have some Pella sales reps up here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pella's in the house.
Joe Franco, Matt Strab. Raise your
yeah,
hand.
Hey.
yeah,
Hey, you need a window?
yeah,
You got business cards, Joe, Matt?
yeah,
All right.
yeah. Oh, Joe's always got
Work-
business
Work
cards.
the crowd, Joe. Work the crowd.
Joe's
Well,
right now.
Matt.
Joe's got to work on my estimate for the door because he just came over and measured my house for the door. So, yeah, Gina's got to work on that. Yeah, that's why I threw the towel when she asked for the cleavage sweat to be removed. I'm like, here, give me $50 off the door.
I am looking out at the crowd. Now we have our regulars that come in on Fridays for dinner, and then people who are here to support special spaces. And wow, what a turnout.
Yeah,
It's been
it's
awesome.
I mean,
they're on a wait, which
they're
is
on
to
a
get in
wait.
and to get seats, and so it's
I get chills. And now Chris and I thought
yes.
that Gina would be out working the crowd.
No.
She has not left
Every
that
time
bar.
she goes to leave, I grab her by the belt buckle, and I kind of pull her back. And the one thing that I will say, see these hands?
Yeah.
I've been doing dishes. She will not stick her hands into the dirty water.
Yeah.
So
They're
she's
so
like,
soft.
no, I'm not doing. No, they're not. So this goes back to the days I used to run bars because you go clean, then rinse, then sanitize, then stack. That's what you do. So she's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, okay, get out of the way. And then she went, okay, you do that really well. You got to do that from now on. So that's what I've been doing. I've been out there washing dishes, but my hands are all dried out now. That's okay.
I don't know. When I was
Does she do the same thing to you at home?
no, when I was head dishwasher at Chi-Chi's at 16, right? I don't know if I followed that method.
Did you lick the plates clean or what? What?
I think I sanitized first.
And at this
right?
point, how many Chi-Chis are there left?
I don't know.
Yeah,
there
that's
was
exactly
one,
right. There aren't.
So you're
That's,
saying I closed Chi-Chi's
that's
by
it. Yeah,
myself?
yeah. You poor
bad
guy.
rap.
Gina was telling me the speaker was too loud, so I don't know if I turned it down enough or too much or
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's
well, we're getting ready to wrap this up.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna
I
jump behind
can't-
the bar and
So
finish up.
Do we envision another one of these types of events going on? Because C Squared needs to prepare.
Yeah, we've got a couple in
I've
the
gotta
works
get
that
hair
we'll
and
have
makeup
to
on scene
we'll have to
and-
figure. Yeah, I know. We need chairs back here. This is like the green room back here. This is kind of
Yeah.
cool.
This is.
This was.
This
I
has
don't
been
know who
great.
your roadies are, but they set this up nice for you guys. So.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll do something else. We got
I think
something
so.
else. Yeah.
I think we gotta.
I think
come
the
up
next
with
time
another
we
plan.
do the special spaces event, when we do this, if they do the Discovery World again, maybe we do the show that day
Oh,
from
that
there.
would be awesome.
You know, then against the
Awesome. That's
Saturday. If it's a Friday night, we'll do the
Right.
show down there, which would be really cool. So,
Or you could do it Friday night into leading into
yeah,
Saturdays.
we could do that too.
or-
I'll
But
be your
yeah.
cameraman. I'll walk around with
Okay.
the camera.
put you on a
Walking up
20-foot
to
cord
people.
and you just walk up to
Right,
people and interview
exactly.
them. That'd be great.
I think
Yeah.
Chris is finding a new niche.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
life.
Yep.
He's like, I
Yep.
am getting to that point where I need
Yeah.
need a
He's got his
hobby.
title, and underneath it now is movie director, talk show host, grip coordinator.
Hey, it's
Producer.
much easier to
Yeah.
be behind a mic and a radio and be on radio than it is to be on TV, right?
Right. Because
So-
if you sit like I'm sitting,
Oh, here we go.
no, I'm going to tell you, this is a little trick. So I was telling Chris
I'm
early
putting
on,
this one on
this is the
camera.
reason
so
I'm
all
wearing
you
black.
folks at home can
So
see this.
yeah, so you're like right now. See, you've got boobs. See us.
I do.
If you lean forward and you've got a crease right here, and then people will look at you and they'll go, "What?" And then you got man boobs. See, like Chris looks like he has me. He doesn't, but he looks like he's got man boobs. Like he's really excited to see me over here. And at any point in time, one could come flopping out for a dollar or two tip.
Oh my
But
God.
but me, I
you
wear
always
black.
gotta go
Nobody
there.
knows, so I'm good to go. I'm just kind of hanging out. So not a
Hey,
bad way to
how
go.
do you get rid of a guest when you want them to stop talking and move on?
You tell me
We
to
got-
leave.
We got 15
You tell me to
minutes
leave.
left.
You
I'm
cut
gonna go
their
back behind the
mic.
bar. I'm gonna go back behind the bar. I came over to get a towel for your wife, and apparently she's been towed off by everybody. So I'm gonna get out of
Hey,
here. Yeah.
before you go,
Yes.
Joe.
thank you.
See you later, Matt.
Thank you
for
for-
appearing on the program. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me,
Thank you
guys.
for stopping
Yes,
by.
we
I
really
just
appreciate
so
it.
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Yes.
And thanks to our friends at all my friends for giving us the
Oh.
very first $40 donation
Very
of the
first
night.
$40.
Yes.
Yeah. But thank you
So-
for letting Chris and I take over your live
Oh,
stream.
yeah.
We appreciate
We
it.
appreciate that. Hopefully we
You guys are holding steady
we
too.
did
It's not like
well.
there's 8 people watching. I mean, you guys
No,
got
it's-
1,100 more people watching right now.
yeah.
That's fantastic.
So
Look at
hopefully we
you.
made you proud and
Well, I'll go home and watch it later tonight, and I'll let you know. I'll
I'm
critique
not-
it.
I'm
I'll
not the
get
one
some
sitting
text
in your chair
messages.
on Monday
Right,
morning.
right.
Go make some
I
more
love you,
tips in
honey.
the last
Oh, you
15
guys are
minutes,
even
Joe.
looking at all the feeds and happy birthday. Look at you guys.
Yeah.
You're corresponding with people. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's
Yeah.
all
If only it
Kristen.
was
She
like
said,
a screen of scratch and sniff, we'd all be happy.
Oh my God. I love you.
Here you go. Bill's a lot like Gina. They like always take it one step farther. Right?
I know.
They
I know.
laugh at a joke and then they just like drive off the cliff and say something that you're like, you really said that out loud? Seriously?
Oh God, it is true. It's true. It's hard. I'll tell you. That man makes me laugh. He makes me laugh like never before. And I love that about him. I could be having the worst day ever, and he'll just look at me, make a funny face, or say something funny, and it's all is right with the world. So he's got a great knack for that.
Yeah, that is good.
So-
that is good.
Yeah. But we're winding down. I'm kind of like bummed. I've been having such a great time with all of our guests out here at Albanese's and all of our special spaces supporters and those who walked in and didn't even know that they were going to do that tonight.
Right. They didn't know Gina was going to serve them a drink from
Right.
behind the bar. And
What a surprise. What a pleasant surprise. I'm
Yes.
sure all that was. So
I think I lost the over-under bet. I think she's been doing a pretty good job
yeah.
making a lot of drinks.
Yeah. She can pour a mean beer, that one.
There's not 3 inches of foam. That is pretty
now,
good.
now let's
That is
talk
pretty
about
good.
Joey for 1 minute.
All right.
Let's talk
Joey.
about him because he's busting his butt back there too.
Look at that good-looking guy back
Good
there.
looking guy. Do you think he's sitting there saying, I can't wait for these two to get the heck out of here so I can have my bar back?
You
Or
and me, or Bill and Chris and
Bill and
Gina.
Gina.
I
Or is he saying, these guys aren't going anywhere because I'm so busy. I need the help now.
it's all about sales, right? If they're still making money, Joey's like, keep going,
That's it.
keep going.
That's it. He's like, you
But-
two aren't, your shift doesn't end at 7.
we
This
can't.
is the restaurant industry.
He's ignoring us. We can't get a read off of him.
No, he might not be able to hear us too. I turned the speaker down. I got yelled at by Gina. She told me
were
it
we
was too loud.
Gina's saying it's too loud.
I know. Gina did say it's too loud.
Well,
No, I mean, just so many thanks to Joey Albanese and Albanese's Roadhouse and Grill for opening up tonight and allowing us to come in and raise some money for special spaces. We don't even know, the tip jars haven't been counted yet. That won't happen until after 7 o'clock, but I am sure Bill will talk about it on his show on Monday. Hopefully he'll open up with that. And
I think he
give
should bring
some
you in
props.
as a guest speaker on Monday for a little 15-minute.
that
What'd you
might be
think?
the nail in the coffin for me
Yes.
to just boot him right out of his seat and take over for the day. Although, see, you and I, we're not talking sports. we're talking fun stuff. So I couldn't do his job. I could totally do a podcast or a radio show.
Yeah, but when you get
like
someone
about
like
fun
we
stuff,
had Mike
fashion.
up here earlier and Bill, when they know so much about
Yeah.
sports from a guy's perspective, I could ask them questions all day long,
right?
right? Because they just have such a wealth of knowledge on
Yes.
sports and things that go on. And then you got Bill, HR inappropriate. He throws some things in there. It's actually kind of funny.
What was your favorite? What's your favorite point of the night?
I think just hanging with you, you know, we always have fun, and this is kind of like our thing. They're off doing whatever, talking work, and
It's
you know,
so
it's
true.
like I don't want to hear about radio and this and advertising and marketing, and
You want to
you
hear
know,
about Ruby?
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want to hear about the bike and what you're doing and where you're going.
Kids.
Do you guys have any trips planned this year to kind of take off on the bikes?
No, we are going to Indiana in July, and this trip is a little different because we're taking the kids. My kids are going to go to Indiana, to Brookville for the first time.
Where's that?
Brookville, Indiana. Bill has a lake house that he
that's
rents.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
You guys have that.
So we'll timeshare, whatever it is. We'll go up there for a week, and
Oh,
I am
nice.
completely unplugged. CIBM Bank says, you know what, Christen, you got a stressful job. You have to take 5 days off. Take them off. We
Work-life balance.
work-life balance, and that's what I mean. I love about where I am. My boss, Jim Mullaney, head of commercial banking. I could not ask for a better boss. Brian Chafin, the president of the bank, could not ask for a better leader. Just great group of people. My coworkers, my colleagues throughout the bank. So work-life balance is where it's at. So I'm completely unplugged
Oh, that's
for that
awesome.
week. So get to spend time with my kids and Bill, and the kids love Bill, of course, because he's a big kid himself.
Exactly.
But that's pretty much it for big stuff. But you know us, we're on the road every weekend.
Right.
We're never
exactly.
home.
Well, you just made me think of. I should probably give John and Ann Kelwerts a plug. Who John is the owner of Pella, Wisconsin Windows and Doors,
Yes.
and he makes it easy for Gina to be as successful as she is. He just kind of gives her the space, lets her, get on the radio, say some things, be the face, and just really market Pella Windows. And what makes Gina so special as a person and is that she brings in a lot of salespeople, and she talks to them, and they come from all different areas of life, right? Some of them are younger, they're kids, they're trying to find their way, and she believes in them, and they become a Pella sales rep, and they just lights out, learn from Gina how to sell, and they're off and running.
Yeah.
And it's just it's amazing how John. I always ask him, like, how did you know Gina was the right person? Like when Gina had her business, right, Affordable Window and Door, they tried to recruit her, and eventually, long story short, she went and talked to him, and John's like, I just knew that she was a fit, and he said she's completely opposite of him, John, and that.
But that's why it works.
Yeah.
That's why it works. Yeah. And if this, I've been in banking for 20 years now, but if this banking thing doesn't work out, I'm going to go to Pella.
There you go.
Here I go. Or someday when I retire,
sell a lot of windows.
Hey, someday when I retire, I'll be like, hey, Gina, because she's still going to be working.
Oh,
She'll still be there. Oh, let's go sell some windows, Gina.
Hey, how did COVID go with the banking? Because in my world, we're trying to figure out who's coming back to work, who's going to work from home. Is that changing in the banking industry? Because I talk to a lot of business outside, and they're trying to figure out how do we bring people back. People really don't want to come back. Their life has changed. People, a lot of women at work have said, hey, Chris, my cube's going away. My office is going away, because it saves them an hour to get ready in the morning. Yeah.
I work from home.
Yep.
Was
that pre-COVID too?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yes. But my team that I work with is in Illinois. I do work with Wisconsin as well, Wisconsin businesses as well, because I do have a strong connection to business owners out here. And I do a lot of networking out in this area just naturally.
Right.
But I work from home. It doesn't matter. My office is right down the street. It doesn't matter if I'm in my office or not. My guys are in Illinois. My
Right.
customers are in Illinois. So I'm Zoom.
Right.
And if I need to go out to a customer meeting, I'm in my car and I'm going. But my job, I can work from home. But the branches, they have to be there.
Mhm.
So I just, I don't know. We have a lot of people within our company that have the flexibility to work from home.
Right.
I think that's what I love so much about where I work. It's like, hey, just like my boss said to me, he's like, I don't care if I'm looking at a gray wall in your office or I'm looking at your bookshelf behind you
Right.
in your work office at our branch. He's like, I just get the work done. And I've got that freedom and flexibility for what I do.
Yeah, and that's
So-
kind of the GE model. It's like, it's kind of work from anywhere.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, hit your goals and
Better get your work done.
objectives, and you're good to go.
And
No
it's
one's gonna bother you.
definitely to me, I look at it as a privilege and one that I would never take
Exactly.
advantage of. I'm at my colleagues will respond and say, you respond to an email so quickly, or my customers, you respond so quickly. And it's, because I'm at my desk and I'm working, so when I see that email come up, I'm on it. But they do get more work out of me because I'm up at 6 a.m. I'm waiting for the kids to get ready. When I'm
Right.
waiting for them to get ready, I'm on my computer. My day has already started. Where if I have to go in the office, that time, that's 6 to 8, I'm getting ready for work. I'm getting the kids to school. So they get an extra 2 hours a day out of me.
Yeah.
A lot more production,
That
right?
reminds me, one time, probably 6 months ago, we had a team meeting, and it's at 7 a.m. It's a global team, and trying to exercise a little bit and get in better shape. Well, I had my ball cap on backwards, and I just was downstairs doing some running that, and I had a call the
Was
night
it
earlier.
a Zoom call?
Yeah, and I had my camera on because I was talking to people. So I click on the meeting, I get on there, right? I'm sweaty, I got the ball cap on backwards and everything else, and didn't even realize it when you see your face, and it's like I didn't think, because there's so many people, you just fall in there. Well, all of a sudden, people are saying something on the team call. They're pinging me. Chris, turn your camera off. You look like you just,
Oh, no.
it
Was it
like,
like a big
oh.
corporate meeting?
No, it was just a team, like everybody
Okay.
on the team, and it was just kind of funny, right? Because
Yeah.
you're on them, and sometimes you don't even think like what's going on.
You
and
forget.
So
Yeah.
now I make sure every meeting,
Yes.
camera off unless I have to put it on. But yeah, that was one time. And one of my friends took a picture of me when I was talking at the beginning, responding to people.
Sure.
Right? All of a sudden, your picture pops up. I'm like, son of a biscuit.
I make sure that my mic is on mute and
Yeah.
my camera is off because I have left my mute button off, and I don't think anybody could hear me because I was too far across the room.
Right.
But it's like I got called out. It's like, Christen, put your mute on.
Yeah. Kids,
So-
let's go. Get ready. We gotta go.
Exactly. I think I was at Bill's or whatever, but
Right.
good times, definitely changing times, and a different navigation. We've
That's
got to
a
learn to
different world.
pivot.
Exactly.
I hate that word.
Yeah.
I hate that word. That is the new word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go with the flow, people. But Chris,
Corporate America does that to you.
it does.
Yes.
It does. But it's been a pleasure.
Yes, it has been
And
awesome.
I put my birthday tiara back on. And now we let the weekend begin. I get to start the celebration of my birthday with all these great people, and you and Gina.
Yeah, and I think
So-
we go up by Bill and Gina and have them make us a drink.
I think
What do
we
you think
should
about
do
that?
that. And thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight on the live stream. Thank you for hanging out with Chris and Christen for the past 2 hours. Again, before we sign off, if you were unable to make it tonight, but you would still like to donate, please go to specialspaces.org/donate and make a donation. Be sure to choose the Wisconsin chapter. And in that message and comments field, be sure to put tips for Albanese's, just so we can track the dollars that were raised tonight, because we do have CIBM Bank, who is matching up to $500, and Albanese's is also matching up to $500 in tips raised tonight. So thank you. We appreciate and love you all. Love is the word of the day. And thank you again. Chris, anything you want to say before we
Yeah,
sign off?
You nailed it right there. I couldn't have said it any better. I mean, it's a special special event, special spaces.
Yes.
Is it a great organization, and they do wonderful things for people. You've made this a blast for me. I was nervous at the beginning, as you know. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to talk for 2 hours, right? And you were like, Chris, we got it.
Yeah.
Right?
And we did. And we did it. And I was like, oh, I don't know. We might go an hour. But hey, we had no time restraints on us or constraints on us. So restraints, constraints, whichever. I've had a couple beers. So we're going to log off for the night. Now, do you know how to do Bill's send off? Do you know how to do that? Because I don't.
I know the button.
No, but what he says at the end of his shows, do you know how to do that? To see ya. Do you know how to do it? See ya. I'm totally not. Yeah,
Say
right.
something like that.
Oh my gosh. Bye, everybody. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.